Good morning, everybody. Sundam Oki here, and happy Monday. If you have been with me, you might have some things that have been taken off of my YouTube page. And that's just because I was convicted about it. I was very humbled about it. And I was reminded that that's not what my channel is about. My channel is about spreading this and not getting into worldly things. And I was also, and I had to look it up because I couldn't remember where it was, but I kept being reminded to not burden myself with Israel because it is a burdensome stone. And I couldn't find it. And so, anyway, that led me to Zechariah. And if you want to know where that is, if you don't already know and you want to follow along, go to Matthew and the New Testament, the beginning of the New Testament, and then just flip back 2 books into the Old Testament. And it's right there, Zechariah. And we're going to be in chapter 12 of that book. And verse 3. Now, this is in times prophecy, or it can be interpreted that way, anyways. But this was the verse that I was trying to think of that I couldn't remember, and I just wanted to share this with you, just in case maybe you were like me and you needed to hear it. So Zechariah chapter 12 verse 3 says, "And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut into pieces. Though all the people of the earth will be gathered together against it." That's real. Okay. Now, to gain more context and to, like I said, it can be as end times prophecy, but it talks about, it goes on and it talks about not just Jerusalem, but Judah. And for those of you who don't know, or this is new to you, you can go on a map, and Judah would be like the West Bank area, which would be like Bethlehem and some other ones. And so, anyway, that's the area and context. Hi. So I just want to share that with you. Definitely read. It is a good book. Those are some good chapters. Anyway, we are going to continue on into Luke. I also wanted to apologize again. I apologize for kind of getting caught up in all that stuff. Save the kids for sure. And nonetheless, either way, God's got it. So we are in Luke, and we're finishing it up today, chapters 14 through 16. I did a read on this last week, and I did a live, but at the time I was actually starting to get sick, and it showed. It showed a whole lot. And so now that I'm not sick anymore, I wanted to get back up here and be more myself. So we're having a late start this morning, but we're still here. And I still got coffee anyway. So, anyways, chapter 14. So, and it came to pass as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. And Jesus answering spake unto the lawyers and the Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace, which means they didn't say anything. And he took him, the man, and healed him, and then let him go. And answered them, saying, which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again to these things that he's saying. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. And he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, for thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, and when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. So he's saying, don't just automatically take the highest seat in the house, thinking that you just belong there. Humble yourself. Let people bring you higher. For whosoever exalts himself shall be abased. Humble yourself. And he that humbles himself shall be exalted. Then said he also to him that bade him, when you make a dinner or supper, don't call your friends nor your brethren, neither your kinsmen nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when you make a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind, and you shall be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee. They can't give that back to you. For you shall be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. You will be paid back in full. Plus, you'll be blessed. So he's saying whenever you make a big dinner, don't just invite all the people that you know, because you know they're going to be inviting you back. Bless somebody with it. Invite the people who can't give back. And when one of them that sat at the dinner with him heard these things, he said to him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Then Jesus said to him, a certain man made a great supper and invited many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were invited, come, for all things are now ready. Food's ready, time to eat. And when they with one consent began to make excuse, the first said to him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must I must go and see to it. I pray thee have me excused. Sorry, I've got some stuff come up. I've got to go check this land. Rain check me, man. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. I just got these animals. I got to go get this stuff together. Rain check. Get you on the next one. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I can't come. I'm married now. I'm busy. I've got a whole life going on. Sorry, I just don't have time. So the servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to the servant, go quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Go grab everybody. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is still room. And the Lord said to the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come into my house, so that it may be filled. For I say unto you that none of these men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. So all these people he invited, and some of them came, and some of them had excuses. And so he says, all right, well then, okay, go get the sick, the blind, go get all of them. Okay, everybody in this area, it doesn't matter who it is, we're going to invite everybody in. And he does, right? But there's still a lot of room. And so he's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to invite everybody. I want you to go as far as you can, all along the highways, all along, up and down the streets, everywhere you can. And I want you to invite everybody. I want stand-in room only, right? And so he does. And he says, but none of those men whom I've already invited, who were giving me excuses or what have yous, they will not taste of my supper. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said to them, if any man comes to me and hates not his father and mother, wife and children, and brothers and sisters, and yea, his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sits not down first and counts the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. They say, this man began to build, but wasn't able to finish it. Or what king is going to make war against another king and doesn't sit down first and like see whether he will be able to meet like 10,000 men that come against him or 20,000 men? What can I defeat? What kind of manpower we got over here? Or else, will the other is is yet a great way off, he sends an ambassage and desires conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsakes not all that he has, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewithin shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. So that was the end of chapter 14. He spoke in parables so that people would understand. He's got some really cool parables, guys. Also, if you're new here, check out my lives. And I've got a whole playlist series through the gospel. So you can you can start at Matthew and catch up with us from there. Or even if you don't want to, and you just want to check out like the rest of Luke, because Luke isn't very long. Well, compared to Matthew, anyways. So, okay, on to chapter 15. So, then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners to listen to him. And the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, this man receives sinners and eats with them. This guy talks to and is friends with sinners, and he has dinner with them. Just so you know. And he spoke this parable to them, saying, what man of you, having 100 sheep, if he loses one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lay it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repents more than over 99 and just persons which need no repentance. Either that woman having 10 pieces of silver, if she loses one piece, does not light a candle and sweep the house and seek diligently till she finds it. And when she has found it, she calls her friends and her neighbors together, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found the piece that I have lost. And likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repents. And then he said, A certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portions of good that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living. He divides his stuff between the boys. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. So he got all this money, this wealth, and he's like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. And he goes and he has fun. So I don't know. He went on a vacation. He might have went gambling, might have got some women. Who knows? But he went and spent it. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the lands to feed the swine. So now he's feeding pigs. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. He's feeding pigs, and he is so hungry, and he has no money to eat. He would eat the pig food. That is how hungry he is. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you, and am no more worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Sorry, that's emotional. It's emotional for a couple different reasons, and it's also because of the context and what this really means. So, he met his boy on the edge of town, and he had to meet him out there so that the rest of the town didn't kick him out. He had to get to him before everybody else. And so, but he missed his son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. Now his older son was in the field, and he came and drew near to the house, and he heard the music and the dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what was going on. And he said to him, Your brother has come home, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has received him safe and sound. And the older brother was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. And he answered, saying to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve you, neither transgressed I at any time you commanded, and yet you have never gave me a goat that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as your son that is come, which has devoured his living with harlots, and has killed for him the fatted calf. And so he said to him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. You are always with me, and everything I have here is yours. This is all yours. It was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive again, and he was lost and is now found. And that's the end of chapter 15. So, beautiful parable. But he was speaking to the Pharisees and them, and he was trying to make them understand, and everybody else as well. So chapter 16. And he said also unto his disciples, There was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. Hold on just a second.